Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Discover New Music podcast from us at Pelt Music. Shortly, we'll be joined by Break 50, who we recently featured over on our Discover New Music playlist on Spotify with their single Second Skin. But before then, the usual reminders from myself. If you would, please do follow Pelt on social media. We're on Facebook at Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Pelt Music. And again, if you would, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, wherever you're watching or listening. So, welcome to Matt and Angus from Break 50 to the Discover New Music podcast. Delighted to have you on this evening. How are you both doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all good, thanks.
Not too cold?
A little bit. Heating's just kicked in, so...
Yeah, I have been freezing all day at work. So, yeah, I'm nice and more warm and tasty now.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Obviously a lot for us to talk about, a lot of great things going on in the world of Break 50. But we always start the podcast with the same feature. It's called the origin story. And it's basically, for people discovering the bands to get a bit of, a history of where you guys have come from, how Break 50 started. I believe yours, is probably slightly unique because obviously there's been a few changes in the band, in the lead up to the latest release. So it might take a bit of a detour, I guess, from the usual ones we hear, but that'll make it all the more interesting. So over to you guys. What is the origin story for Break 50?
So our old guitarist Ollie, the old vocalist for Sunfall, a guy called Sam, and myself, we all started ACM together, which is University in Guildford, and basically we were just like, let's just start a band. And we were this is back in 2017, and we were really on the idea of calling the band Hace, which is supposed to be Hawaiian shirts and Ace Ventura. It was just random, and we were just like, this is what we're going to do. I think we played one show under that name, and none of the songs obviously that we're releasing at the minute, but Sam basically was moving back to Australia, left, and it was just sort of fizzled out very quickly. So I sort of stepped in and was just like, right, okay, let's actually just try and sort out a band. And obviously we were in the music university as well, so we had all the resources for it. Got vocalist, got drummer, and had several lineup changes for a long time. But I'd say we were a very amateur band at the time. It was around uni. It was very sort of, if we had a uni project, we would do stuff with the band for uni until COVID hit and everything sort of fizzled out. We just released a single and COVID had hit, and we were in the middle of all of our uni finals until sort of back end of 2020, I think it was. We hadn't spoken in months, and we were like, let's just have this do or die mentality and really just push at this and just get writing, plan all of this ideas that everything that we're putting out now, planned from then. And I guess obviously a couple more member changes throughout that process, and then we had Angus and Batchy join.
That's when I came into the fold.
Yeah. And pretty much that's the majority of it. We just sort of got serious after COVID, and really now is the sort of time where we were like, this is what we've been working for like the past 2-3 years. So yeah,
it's quite funny because for a lot of people, COVID signaled the end of a lot of things, be it a career or relationship or anything like that. But it also doing this Discover New Music podcast, the amount of bands that actually took that as the kick up the backside to crack on and do what they've always wanted to do it's remarkable. And obviously Break 50 exhibit probably Z for us at this point, but it's great to see. No, fantastic. And obviously absolutely delighted that you decided to crack on and push on with it, because we've featured I think every single you've put out so far we've ended up featuring on the playlist, which is again quite remarkable because we normally will limit ourselves to one or maybe two from a band coming out, and obviously especially getting them on the podcast, we don't want to be sitting and talking about all these different songs. We are going to pick one for the podcast today. It's quite hard because they're all such obviously great songs, but the most recent we've put on there is Second Skin, and it feeds obviously so nicely into the EP that we're going to talk about afterwards, so we're going to stick with Second Skin. So what can you tell us about that song? How did it come together for you, and what are the themes behind it?
Second Skin.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, mate. No, well, Second Skin is so it's sort of like the final chapter of the EP, really. It's the whole song is about guilt and realizing that you're pushing through pretty much. But yeah, that was such a fun video for us to record. It was really good fun, especially during the when we were shooting it for the music video. Well, what time? It was like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it was about 2 a.m, -4 degrees.
Yeah, and see your own breath
outside in a barn.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It was.
What was it? Second Skin was sort of the last song that we had actually recorded on the EP, and the last song we had written. We had a bunch of different ideas for it, and I think so. Angus, Dan, and myself, and our producer Ryan, we're sort of just finishing up writing, and they all came to mind, and we were just in my garage, basically just trying to get as much as we could done. And we the start of the day, we were ready to scrap it. We were just saying, we have nothing to go with here. Let's just not bother. And then it's just like, no, we need to really just spend as much time as we can just trying to craft something out of these ideas. And I'd say it's 5-6 hours is pretty much had the flesh song. Like the drum and bass elements of it, we recorded that idea back in 2021, and we were like, this would fit really well here. Let's just put that there. It's like, oh, it did. It just came really naturally. Like the whole process for Second Skin was just very fluid, I suppose.
Yeah. It all just pieced together so easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
After a few hours of struggling, but we got there in the end.
Yeah, well, the best songs often do come together like that. So, absolutely. We've enjoyed the song so much. It's on the playlist. Listeners, do go and check it out. Have a listen to it, and check out the video. Obviously, Angus, I'm glad you mentioned the video because we love music videos. I grew up as a obviously just music video geek, sat in front of Kerrang, Scuzz, etc. Watching music TV all the time. So. And often, sadly, budgets don't allow for music videos these days because it doesn't, breed as much attention as they used to anyway, I guess. First of all, well done for having the inclination, and going and doing that. And obviously, when it came to the concept for that video, how did you come up with it and obviously go about putting it into practice and getting really, really cold?
So for all of the music videos, so it was probably October last year, we had spoken to our videographer Murray, and basically I just said we wanted to have 4 music videos. We wanted to have this, and this, some other stuff that will follow, and just try and really make sure we covered every single ground. We spent about a month or 2 creating a mood board for all of the visual concepts and branding, I suppose. We had Dan working on all of our outfits throughout the whole thing, and just making sure that each music video something was relevant, and we would have our own sort of image. I think I probably spent about a month after mood board just storyboarding, doing each second or so, and just each frame of what we were going to do, and just really planning everything out. A lot of the videos were performance based, barring Familiar Face, which we hadn't. Well, we had sort of planned mainly for the location to just be the sort of vibe of all of the music videos and the imagery.
Yeah.
Really lucky with a couple of Angus's mates that just had this location that we were able to go in 5 days and just film everything.
It's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1600s farmhouse in Somerset. We went down there. The biggest struggle of our life trying to get down there.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
was a
remember
nightmare.
last year it snowed? It was February we shot it, wasn't it, Matt?
That was in March we shot it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so much snow came down, and we live south of the UK, so we were 3.5 hours, 4 hours from there. So we took 4 cars down there, got all the way, and we got stuck about a mile away from the location. And we're up and down hills, pushing each other's cars out of ditches, out of the snow. It was actually a miracle we actually got there and did
Was
it
it
in
like
the end.
a 13-minute drive from the town to the location took us about 3 hours.
Yeah.
We had to leave Angus's car abandoned like
Yeah.
overnight. The irony of all of it is we're pushing these cars up this hill. All the cars are getting absolutely destroyed, and it's just an absolute nightmare. And we just get round to the lane where we're going in, and then a
Yeah.
snowplow comes over the hill. We're like, not what we needed. Yeah, absolute nightmare. Bit of a setback,
Yeah.
but we ploughed on and just got everything done.
Ploughed on. I
Yeah.
love
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Oh no, fantastic! I mean, and memories to last a lifetime as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
You know? So
Oh mate, yeah, I'll never forget that. That was
Yeah.
it was great.
Absolutely fantastic, and hopefully, the effort you've gone through has been appreciated and vindicated. And obviously, reaction to anything these days is really instantaneous. Gone are the days of waiting for magazine reviews or talking to fans at shows. Obviously, social media has changed the world, but in music for sure, one of the things it's done is just giving you that instant feedback to any art that you're putting out there. So obviously, since the latest lineup change and obviously this big push now post COVID. How have you found the reaction to all of the music you've put out?
Oh, sorry, I'm getting attacked by a cat.
Special guest as well.
Go on.
It's been incredible, to be honest. We're pretty blown away. We've never had reaction like this before, or any just the sort of response we've been getting for the singles. It's just been extremely organic, really, positive, and we're just blown away by it every day.
Yeah.
It's just something that we've really wanted for a long time, and I think keeping in sort of keeping like the momentum of everything that we've been doing, and keeping as relevant as we possibly can throughout, like for single one all the way leading up to the EP. I think it's just been really, really positive. It's overwhelming almost, and it's good.
How it's organically grown from our first release as well. It's gone from first one, second one, and it's just building, just momentum just keeps on. The ball just keeps on getting bigger, wiggling down the hill. So, we're really excited to get this new stuff out on them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I love to hear it. And obviously, talking of getting new stuff out is a lovely little segue, because the next sort of topic is your debut EP, which is it's called "Every Scream Became a Whisper in the Dark," which is a bit of a mouthful for me to get. But yeah, it's out on December the 7th, and obviously definitely encourage the listeners to check it out as it comes out. Obviously, what would you say that listeners should expect from the EP?
Chaos.
Utter chaos. 2 steps, beat downs, and just balls to the wall the whole time, the whole EP. I think chaos is the best word to describe it.
I think we went into it with trying to put as much energy into it as we could, and I think that really sort of translates back as well when you listen to it, just how full on it is. There are stop-start moments where it's necessary, but just start to finish, I think there's just a lot of energy and chaos. That's the main thing I think people will feel with it.
Even managed to fit some choruses in there as well along the way. So yeah.
Looking forward to the choruses and looking forward to the chaos. So obviously, listeners, hopefully that's whetted your appetite. And obviously December the 7th is out. Check it out for sure. And just touching on obviously as well, new lineup, and obviously coming out of obviously music uni and everything, and recording this sort of first sort of meatier piece of work that you're going to put out there. What was the whole experience like for you, like recording the EP?
So the actual recording process was quite it was quick. I think we had everything digitally. So we had to sort of make that transition from being a band in the room to digital because of COVID. So we had a very long time to actually sit with all the music as well. So we all knew it really well. So when it actually came to recording, I think the main thing, which was sort of not stressful, but like the hardest part of the whole thing would probably be live drums. We had booked a studio up near Chichester. I can't remember the name of the studio. I think it was Old Chapel Studios. It's closed
that's
down
it,
now.
Old Chapel, yeah.
And I think it was about a 3-day session. We had to cut off sessions at a certain time because of like noise, and people still lived in that building. But that was probably the most stressful part, getting all of that done. Just very short time limits, and yeah, but absolutely smashed it out. Angus smashed the vocals, and because he lives quite close to our producer as well, so it was really easy for him to just meet up with him and just get it done. We smashed bass out in a day. Guitar was just sort of done over time, and yeah, everything was sort of really quite an easy process, I'd say.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth, wasn't it? Over the 2 months with booking, trying to, it's like trying to herd cats sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get everyone to record,
Yeah.
get everyone in the room. But yeah, no, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, fantastic. I can't wait to hear it. And yeah, cats and musicians are notoriously hard to herd, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And again, to drum at home listeners definitely need to check that out. December the 7th, Every Scream Became a Whisper in the Dark, debut EP. So definitely check that one out. And obviously now you've got these songs, that leads us into the live side of things quite nicely, because you've got these songs. I'm guessing going to want to go out there and play these songs. And I know you played a show recently in Liverpool. And go out there, and I know you've got at least one show booked for next year as part of a festival down in the south as well. Obviously, for you guys, how excited are you to be able to get out and start to play these songs live after obviously that sort of long build?
It's something that we've just been looking forward to for a long time. So Angus is also in Pint Glass, so he's obviously been able to play shows. But before that, me and him, both. So me and Break 50, he was in a band called Mauler. Our last show was the same show in 2020. It was supporting Heart of a Coward, and we hadn't played shows since then. So playing this show in Liverpool was such a surreal feeling, and just being able to like express yourself musically again live is something that you can't just get that feeling very easily. So and to be able to play these songs, it's just so fresh, I think is the best way of saying it. And we're really excited to get this out, because our set is a very full on set. There's not many stops. It's just constant. So it's difficult, but we're just so excited to get playing again and just let people hear this music live. That's
that first show in Liverpool was just one of a kind. Like, it was like showing everyone your newborn baby, and we just we just absolutely loved it. It felt so right to hear those songs live as we were playing it as well. And yeah, nothing went wrong as well for the first show, which is amazing.
A miracle.
It was fantastic. The guys in Creek were phenomenal blokes as well. First time I've met them. And it was a really, really cool venue, great sound. What's the name of it? EBGBs, wasn't it?
EBGBs, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna keep plugging for shows next year as soon as CP's out. See what happens.
Trying to get organise something at the minute just for the start of the year. Put something on ourselves. Hopefully, looking to have that announced soon. Not too sure in the near future, but and a couple other things that may pop up here and there. But we're just sort of looking at jumping on tours or anything like that at the minute. Really, just getting our name out there a bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about for sure. And I think a lot of not to insult the common music fan, but I think a lot of sort of general music fans don't realize how hard it is for bands to play shows. You know, it's not like you just go, yeah, we're just going to go and play this show locally, or we're just going to jump on this tour. You know, there's so much mechanics that go into, you know, booking a show or jumping onto, you know, another band's show. You know, especially these days, it is sort of really come to the fore how difficult it is. So obviously, yeah, hopefully a lot of shows in the pipeline for Break 50, and listeners, you can obviously follow the band across social media. That's the best place to find out about the shows as they get announced. So we always give out the social handles, and they hopefully will pop up on the screen as well for those on YouTube. So on Instagram, it is quite simply Break 50, nice and easy. Facebook, Break 50 official. Again, pretty simple. And then on Twitter, or I should always call it X now, but I can't get my head around that at all. It is Break_50, and I love an underscore.
I think someone else took the name. I can't remember.
That's the problem. That is the problem. I read out the social handles on every podcast, and it is quite just amazing some of the weird and wonderful concoctions that bands have had to go for, because obviously what the obvious one is already taken, and I guess, you know, it's still maybe it should be, but it's still probably not one of the first things bands think about when they decide on their name. Oh, is the social handle available? That's a bit of an afterthought, but you've done well. You've done pretty well with them. I'd like to think the listeners will find them even without my help.
I'm sure they'll find them.
Band. But you know, it is tradition now, so I like to give them out. And obviously, yeah, hopefully a lot for the listeners to keep up with. The EP, obviously, coming out on December the 7th. Hopefully, some shows to follow. They can obviously find links to the video and the single we've talked about as well. So definitely encourage listeners to do all of that. And obviously, to finish off the podcast, we have the same section we always have at the end. And it follows the live conversation normally, and it's called Setlist Science. So as well as being a music video geek, I consider myself a bit of a setlist geek. And obviously, I'd just like to put the question out there. You've obviously recently played that first show in Liverpool, so you obviously at some point would have sat down and gone, guys, what are we playing? So with Setlist Science, the question is, you know, how much importance do you place into the structure of a set list, and have you got any rules that you try to follow?
Oh, I'd definitely say. So at the minute, we're really going for, like, you know, play the EP as it is, because that's what we want people to experience. But I think just sort of like a trial and error, really, at the minute. With the Liverpool show, the only break we have is our interlude, and that's it. So I think we need a little bit more time in between. Might have to like switch some songs around at some stage, like as after we've played it out a bit more, just to give us a bit more of an easier time, because it's very full on. Adding maybe another interlude somewhere, but haven't really thought about it in that sense at the minute. It's mainly still just very much in the mindset of like play it from start to finish, because that's sort of how we would want people to hear it. I think when new material comes out, we would then, you know, change things around and really work it into the set differently. Yeah.
No, it's a good approach, because obviously, yeah, creating a track list on an EP or an album is pretty similar to obviously creating that set list. And you know, I think a lot of that art is lost these days because of streaming, and obviously the emphasis more on singles, you know, especially for listeners, is very you know, just pop on and listen to a curated playlist like ours, maybe, you know. But yeah, there is an art form to structuring you know, a piece of music, collection of music, in a way that obviously guides the listener through kind of that journey, that story that you want to tell. So yeah, obviously for you guys playing that EP in full right now definitely makes sense. Yeah, no, great answer. And the second and last sort of question to it is one we've added recently, and probably not one that you're going to consider too soon, I'd imagine, but you never know. It is simply it's become a bit of an internet meme, encores, obviously peekaboo for adults and all of that stuff that you read online. I'm still split on it, even as a setlist geek. I think there's a romance to them, but equally sometimes I think I just got a train to catch. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, I had to do that the other day as well. I had to shoot for the encore. I don't know. I think right time, right place. Really, I think it can be overdone encores. To be honest, and I think some bands just want to play their set and go sometimes. But no, yeah,
I mean, a lot of bands do it nowadays where they've actually got that premeditated,
yeah,
and
very
you
true.
know, so if they go up and play and they're like, even if they don't ask for an encore, they just probably won't go back on. But like, it's all ready to go in case. So I don't really know.
Yeah, see, it's not going to be a problem for you guys, I imagine, just yet, unless obviously you get that really spontaneous, organic like call. Then you'll have to suddenly think, "Oh my word, what can we play now?" But
Yeah. I mean, we could probably just, I don't know. Would it be weird to just replay one of the songs again?
Yeah,
I think
I don't know.
it's not normally the done thing, but I've seen it done a couple of times, and it made me just think, yeah, why not? Especially if you are a band that is, got that one hit or whatever it may be. Yeah, start
yeah.
with it and then finish with it. Why not?
Yeah.
What's the harm? What's the
I
harm?
remember going to Reading Festival in about 2014, and Macklemore played that one song that he has 3 or 4 times in one set. Everyone was just like, oh. So
What?
it was a bit ridiculous. But yeah,
Yeah, maybe not that many times.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, definitely always interesting to get the opinions of all the guests on the encore bit. And yeah, obviously on all of it, so much great stuff going on with the band. Really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about it all with me.
Oh,
The
thank you for
last,
having us.
oh, absolute pleasure. And the last message I always just pass over to you guys. So what would be your last message for the listeners today?
Oh,
Well,
Oh,
I'd say December 7th. I'd say
December
EP's
7th.
coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah, every screenplay Whisper in the Dark, and yeah, we just can't wait to get out there, get the music out, and meet people who love what they hear as well. Yeah, guess 2024 break 50.
Definitely. Yeah, listeners, make sure you're following the band on social media and stay up to date with all this great stuff coming out. Thank you both so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you very much for having us, Paul.
Thank you so much, man.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. I really do hope you enjoyed that chat there with Break 50. Do make sure you follow the band across social media to stay up to date with everything coming from them. You can also stay up to date with Full Pelt. We're on Facebook at Full Pelt, and we're on Twitter and Instagram at Full Pelt Music. And finally, if you would, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, wherever you're watching or listening, because we'll be back very soon with another episode of the Discover New Music podcast.